Chairman, thank you very much for the time. Mr. Rupert, you used the term collaborative. Aren't the federal agencies supposed to coordinate with local units of government?
Yes, absolutely. And I think from my perspective, that's one of the exciting aspects of infrastructure is it provides the support for us to, have more capacity in that direction and also to develop those relationships to provide the community support for that to happen.
Mr. Chairman, I would just say to you that this is a very important distinction in terms. Collaborate versus coordinate. They mean two very different things, and I think the agency people know that. Coordinate is treating people as equals at the table, local, state officials, that they be treated as equals when you're making that decision, rather than where it's the all-knowing people up here in the federal government that are dictating to local units of government. That's a great frustration local and state officials have. Mr. Rupert, you emphasized climate change in your testimony, I believe, and then also in your questioning with Representative Westerman. So with us being told that it's going to be decades in the future, that this is going to continue, why would we spend all kinds of money on this if it's not going to do anything to fix the problem or fix the quote-unquote problem?
Well, clearly the vision and the strategy is to make progress and to start on that progress. And the very real experience that we see in interior wildland fire programs across the land. Man, I mean those effects and that consequence are very real. This trajectory that we're on with impacts, catastrophic, intense wildfire, and we have that
And you know that's due to climate change.
I know that the impacts on the ground that we're experiencing are very real.
So let me enter into the record here, if I may. Here's the Forest Service timber harvested data from the early 1900s to 2014. Very easy to see the peak that we had back in about 1990.
Without objection.
And it's, if I may enter that, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. What if it's as a result of lack of harvest, the lack of management? The point our ranking member has been making consistently, that it's a lack of management that is causing this problem more than anything else. I think this is a terrific document that we should all look at very closely, because maybe that is where our problem is. I would just also add, living near Lake Superior, we were told, and I see extensive weather data due to a job I had previously coming to here, and from 2004 to 2011, Lake Superior was at a very low level, historic low levels, and we were told it was climate change. Well, Lake Superior now is back at historic high levels as a result of the extreme precipitation, or high precipitation we've had in the last 10 years, and we're being told it's climate change that is causing that. And for a lot of people, you just go, is there anything that climate change can't do? Ms. Hall-Rivera, I think you used the term historic investment in your testimony. I think it said significant down payment. So you're going to come back looking for more money, is that right?
Well, Congressman, thank you for that question. I think we have to be realistic about what this problem is costing us as a nation. And you made an important point. We have to do increased management, and we need to use all the tools for doing that. And that includes timber harvest, and that includes hazardous fuels treatment. And these are not inexpensive endeavors. It's expensive to treat fuels. It's expensive to do that work.
How many jobs have we lost since 1988 as a result of the lack of harvest on the national forest?
Well, I don't have that figure in front of me, Congressman, but I can tell you that we've shifted we've lost 40% of our non-fire workforce in the Forest Service. And so we're having that challenge just within the Forest Service. We've lost a lot of our capacity and our expertise in timber harvest.
When are we going to reach the ASQ? Well,
I know we do meet allowable sale quantities on some of our forests, but we don't meet it on all of them. So we have more work to do.
How are we going to accomplish this without litigation reform?
Well, you know what? We are appreciative of the reforms that we have received, including the fuel break CE that we talked about earlier. And we're open to working with all of you on additional tools that can help us increase our fuels treatment.
Appreciate your answers. Mr. Chairman, I just submit to you, we've got a huge litigation problem here. I understand that there's multi-million-dollar organizations across the country that do nothing but file lawsuits, and they've created a real problem. And a lot of that problem you see right in this chart that we entered into the record. And but I think we should also look at the number of jobs that we've lost, the number of businesses that we've lost in America, especially in the West, as a result of shutting down harvests on our national forests. We will not correct the problem that we have here without having active management and getting litigation reform. If we don't reform NEPA, it is not going to happen. We will be here 10 years from now talking about the same thing. Thank you so much for attending today, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.